Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And through the Spirit, I'm in 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter. It says, "Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may be without the word be won by the conversation of the wives." So women are to be in subjection to their husbands, okay? That's we know the order. It goes Yahawah, Yahawashi, the men, and then the women. So let me look up that word subjection. Subjection, it means, okay, here's similar words. I always like to read the similar words. Domination. So dominated by their husband. You shouldn't have a woman dominating over a man. And by the way, women actually, they love being dominated, all right? Control, a master. Even this word is a slave, slavery, enslavement, bondage. Okay. So, those Babylonian women, they're not for any of those words, right? But that's what it is, man. You women don't like what we're reading here. And guess what? You really don't believe the scripture. Plain and simple. Verse 2. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Let's get that word chaste real quick. Okay, abstaining from extramarital or from all sexual intercourse. Friendly, platonic, innocent. Those are similar words. All right, so it's going into, innocent conversation coupled with fear. Fear of what? Fear of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Verse 3. Whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart or the mind, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High for a great price. All right. So it's not all about that outward appearance, not about getting all sexified. Women should be dressed modestly. All right. You shouldn't wear things that shows off all your goods. That's for your husband and your husband only to see. So you men who let your women walk around dressed like whores, and you're out of order. Verse 4. Verse 5. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in the Most High adorned themselves, being in a subjection unto their own husbands. All right, so the word adorn, it means you made yourself more beautiful. So in the eyes of the Most High, in the eyes of Yahawah, you make yourself more beautiful when you're in subjection unto your husband. It's beautiful when you see a woman who's in order, Verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Right? So dwelling with your woman according to knowledge, meaning you don't want to be, jealous of the woman you love. I mean, jealousy is a normal. Don't get me wrong. Jealousy is a normal emotion, but you don't want to go off balance with that stuff. Put yourselves in good positions if you have a wife. And really, if you're in this truth, Paul says that it's better to not even have a wife. And even if you do have a wife, he says as if you didn't have a wife, act as if you didn't have a wife, because really, when we come in this knowledge and this truth and this experience, you realize that women are actually a distraction in this truth. And brothers who have women who are in this truth, they can attest to that. All right. Now, does this mean that we shouldn't be married? We shouldn't have a wife? No, that's not what it means. It's just plain and simple. Women are a distraction. All right. You just have, you're just going to have trouble in the flesh, like as it is written. Right. If you have a wife, you're going to have trouble in the flesh. Let me grab that real quick. Let's see here. It's in Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 7:28. It says, "But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she hath not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. But this I say, brethren, that time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none." You see, and I just said that. That's what it is, man. So, you just got to make sure you're putting the truth first, It's okay to have a wife. If you have a wife, you're going to be tempted more. You're going to be distracted more. And I'll give you an example. When you have a wife or you have a woman and you're in this ministry, the Sabbath roll around and we're not supposed to be, we're supposed to not touch our woman on the Sabbath, meaning not having sex, being sexual with her. And that kind of stuff, it happens where, hey, that woman, she, all of a sudden that demon jumps on her, or it could jump on you. And next thing you know, you're putting yourself in a compromised position, because she want to have sex or you want to have sex with her, and it happens to be the Sabbath. Just things like that, When you're single, when you don't have a woman, you don't have to deal with those type of things. So it's just a thought that came to mind, because I know I had a woman and I was in that situation, where it's a night, both y'all have the day off or that night off, but it's a Sabbath, and you're not supposed to be doing the deed on the Sabbath. You're supposed to keep yourself, remain holy and treat it as a sanctified day, So just things like that, those things you got to take into mind. 1 Peter 3 and 8. "Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous." Yeah, one mind means we're all on one accord, as it is written. The brethren, the brotherhood, we're all on one mind. And you can see that if the Spirit's on you and the Spirit's working with you, this is what happens, man. You'll do a lesson, and then you'll go look at one of the other brothers' lessons, in GMS, and all of a sudden you notice that you guys were pulling out the same precepts and whatnot, right around the same days. So this is that example of the Holy Spirit showing us all that we're one mind, one body, right? We're all in the Spirit. And I can tell you that it happens a lot, Brothers can vouch for that too, Not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, and that ye should inherit a blessing, right? And the blessing we want to inherit is salvation. We're trying to work out our salvation with fear and trembling, as it is written. Verse 10. For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile. Right. So the brethren, the true prophets, there's not going to be no guile in our mouth. And that's what guile means. It means deception. You're not going to speak no evilness. You're not going to speak deceiving words. You see a lot of these camps going off, and we have a discerning spirit, so we can actually, we can see where they go off through the spirit. But if you're not studying to show yourself approved, if you're not like Revelation, what is it? I think 1 and 3. Blessed he that readeth. If you're not reading, then you're going to be more vulnerable, more liable to be deceived by false prophets. But if you're constantly in the spirit, and when I say constantly, I'm talking about keeping a good balance. All right, I'm not talking about burning yourself out just every single minute of the day. You're in the spirit, because we're in the flesh, so that's impossible to be in the spirit every single minute of the day. But you should balance it, right? So, but if you're you're reading and you're studying to show thyself approved, then guess what? You're not going to be beguiled, or, you won't be tricked or deceived. Verse 11. Let him eschew evil and do good. Let him seek peace and ensue it. For the eyes of Yahawah are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers. But the face of Yahawah is against them that do evil. Right, so and Yahawah's, don't get it twisted. His eyes are over everybody, but it says right here, the eyes of Yahawah are over the righteous. Right, so of course he sees everything. He knows everything. He's got his angels, who are the messengers. They'll report to him, everything. And not only that, he's Yahawah, so of course he can. It's literally his story. Everything. A man's goings are of Yahawah. So really, there's no way to hide from Yahawah. You see. But his eyes are on the righteous for sure, man. He sees our good deeds. He sees when we slip. He sees when we, he sees when we're even doing evil. That's when you need to be repentant. Repentant spirit. Having that contrite spirit. Verse 13. And who is he that will harm you, if ye be followers of that which is good? Right, nothing can, we've got that hedge around us, and even if something was to happen to us, hey, if we're of the elect, then we know our end, right? It says in verse 14, but if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. So we always got to just be in the spirit, be strong. Hey, we're coming in on Jacob's trouble. Lord's willing, it's coming soon, where it gets full-fledged, full force. And guess what? We can't be fearful or we're not going to be troubled because of the one we serve, okay? We're going to have a hedge. We're going to have protection. And we know that some of the prophets are according to the prophecy, are going to be put under a guillotine. But even in that situation, we don't be afraid of their terror. We don't be afraid or troubled. Why? Because we're going to have the spirit of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai on us, even if that comes to pass on us, on ourselves. Verse 15. But sanctify Yahawah the Most High in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you with a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. Right, so anytime somebody, if someone is, trying to say, hey, well, why do you believe this, or what is it that makes you different, or why do you think you have the truth? Well, guess what? If you're diligent, and you're you're studying, you're reading, guess what? The Lord's gonna provide an answer for you. He's gonna be our mouth, right? Or we are His mouth, but He's gonna put His words in our mouth. So uh, we should have an answer. If you're in the Spirit, you're gonna always have an answer, like it says here. Be ready to give every man that asketh you reason of the hope that is in you with the meekness and fear. 16, it says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. Right. And they do. You already know that because it's written that they're set up to speak against us because of the truth. They speak against us because of the things we bring out, which is truth, right? But guess what? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to put them to shame in due time. And of course, they're going to falsely accuse us, because at the end of the day, we know that the world's going to hate us, right? Just like it hated Yahushua. They hated him first, right? Verse 17, for it is better if the will of the Most High be so, that you suffer for doing well than for doing evil, right? So we need to rejoice when we suffer for Yahushua's name's sake, for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's name's sake, right? Better than we suffer for doing evil. It's better than suffering in a nuclear fire, right? Better than going through the trials and tribulations. Yahweh puts us through the fire, the bread of adversity, the water of affliction, right? Better to go through that than to be suffering for doing evil, right? Evil means bad times, all right. So we don't want to be in that state of evil, suffering for evil. We want to suffer for the good, the will of the Most High Yahweh and the Son, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Verse 18. For Hamashiach also hath once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to the Most High, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. Right. And that is why he died for the Most High. He brought us to the Most High. He was that mediator, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit. And that's the same thing with his men. We are quickened by this Spirit, right? We rise up early, the Lord's prophets, the elect, the remnant, the 1/3 of Israel are going to be quickened by this Spirit. It's the 2/3 that are sottish and foolish and slow to learn. And actually, really, they won't learn until they're going to learn by pain, right? Which is going to be that nuclear fire. If they make it to that point, if the Most High don't put them to death before the nuclear fire. Verse 19, it says, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison. And really, the prison is America. That's why we're called prisoners of hope. Because we're in captivity, man. And really, all the spirits, whether you're in literal prison or you're in Babylon, America, you're in a prison if you're an Israelite. Even the heathen, they're in prison. They're in slavery. But we're preaching to the spirits in prison, the prisoners of hope. Right? Let me get that. Prisoners of hope. Let's see. I think it's in a different spot, but this one's coming up. Zechariah 9 and 12. Shit, what happened? Zechariah 9 and 12. All right. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope, Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. See, and the Israelites, because we're constantly in captivity through all our our lives, our different lives, regenerations, reincarnations. We've always been as a curse and as a punishment in the slaveries and the captivities. So we've been prisoners of hope for a long time throughout our generations. 1 Peter 3:20 now. It says, and the screen might not catch up right away. See this? Oh wait, here I had it. Slovakia. 1 Peter 3:20. It says, which sometimes were disobedient when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls were saved by water. Yeah, the majority of the people died during this flood. Yahweh Bashem Yashai only saved 8 souls during that time, during that end, right? Noah, his wife, his 3 daughters, and their husbands. Those were the only souls that were saved. Verse 21. The like figure whereunto even the baptism doth also now save us, not the putting away the filth of the flesh, but the answer of the good conscience toward the Most High by the resurrection of Hamashiach Yahawahs, who is gone into heaven and is on the right hand of the Most High, angels and authorities and powers being made subject unto him. Right, because Yahawahs is above everything. All right. So that's what it is, man. We want that salvation. And the baptism is literally us being submitted in this truth, us submitted in this knowledge. The word baptism means to submit, right? That's why when these churches, when you get baptized, they'll submit you, they'll put you underwater. This is what the true baptismal is getting submitted in this truth, submitted in this knowledge and this wisdom, okay? It says, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward the Most High by the resurrection of the Hamashiach Yahawahs. Because, listen, like it is written, as it is written, our righteousness is as filthy rags. So even though we think we're righteous, even when we're doing good, we're literally, our righteousness is as filthy rags. That's what the scriptures say. So, that's why we have to baptize ourselves in this knowledge, baptize in this truth, because it says, but the answer of a good conscience toward the Most High, right? And the resurrection of Hamashiach Yahawahs. So that's the only reason why we are saved, is because we fall short in this flesh, right? Because again, our righteousness is as filthy rags. But Yahawahs, if not for Yahawahs, we wouldn't even have salvation. We wouldn't even have understanding of these scriptures, like it tells you in Revelation, the 5th chapter. Okay. Let me get that. Isaiah 64:6. It says, but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. And iniquity it means sin upon sin. It's like a perpetual sin, basically. And that's what these bodies cause us to do. They cause us to, be in a state of perpetual sin. So this is why our righteousness is like a filthy rag. We're unclean, man. If it wasn't for Yahawahs, we wouldn't even have salvation. See? Our iniquities take us away. That's why King David, where he say, thy tender mercies are innumerable, or the abundance of his tender mercies. Something I'm paraphrasing. But if it wasn't for Yahweh Shai, we'd still we still wouldn't know Yahweh. We still wouldn't be have grace or mercy from Yahweh if not for Yahweh Shai. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I just wanted to go in on a lesson. It's been a long day at the plantation. Now I'm gonna unwind for a little while, but I hope the lesson was edifying. And I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, one Eknol who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.